Russian military planes were sent to Iran. Tehran is expected to attack Israel. What happens when new threats show up on the world stage and military allies change? In this video, we talk about the scary news that Russia has sent military planes to Iran, which makes people worry that Iran could soon become even more hostile toward Israel. What does this new event mean for international security, and how could it change the way things work in the Middle East? Join us as we talk about what you need to know about these high-stakes global moves and how this situation could get worse. Are you ready to find out the truth about these important events? Let's jump right in. An Iranian group was given access to a VIP shopping tour of a Russian armaments manufacturer's factory in March of last year. The 17 guests enjoyed lunches and cultural performances before touring a factory that produces sophisticated Russian air defense systems, which Tehran has long desired on the last day. The United States has sanctioned the Yekaterinburg-based NPP Start factory for aiding Russia's conflict with Ukraine. Its products include mobile launchers and additional anti-aircraft battery parts, such as Russia's S-400, which military experts believe is able to identify and take out stealth fighter jets operated by the U.S. and Israel. The tour was billed as a demonstration of the scientific and technical potential and production capabilities that Russia could provide to Iran. An elite Russian document that was part of stolen Iranian emails that were made public online in February by a hacker group. It is unknown if the visit resulted in a purchase. In the 2 years since Russia's full invasion of Ukraine, however, the trip is symbolic of what intelligence officials describe as a growing strategic partnership between Moscow and Tehran. This alliance may play a major role as Israeli leaders consider the possibility of taking military action in retaliation for the hundreds of drone and missile strikes that were launched against Israel over the weekend. By committing to provide thousands of combat drones and missiles to Russia in 2022 to support Moscow in its war against Ukraine, Iran signed on to a risky new chapter in its relationship with that country. According to U.S., European, and Middle Eastern intelligence officials and weapons experts, the strengthened ties have now helped solidify agreements between Moscow and Tehran, including a promise by Russia to supply its ally with cutting-edge fighter jets and air defense technology, assets that could help Tehran harden its defenses against any future airstrike by Israel or the United States. The officials discussed sensitive topics under condition of anonymity, as did several other people questioned for this video. The number of systems that have been supplied and put into service is unknown, but officials and experts warn that Iran could become a far more dangerous foe thanks to Russian technology, which would improve its capacity to shoot down aircraft and missiles. The intelligence officials and weapons experts said that the weapons deals, some of which have not been made public before, are a part of a larger partnership that also involves the co-production of military drones inside Russia, the sharing of anti-jamming technology, and real-time battlefield assessments of weapons deployed against NATO-equipped forces in Ukraine. The cooperation is reaping substantial benefits for both countries, while elevating Iran's status from junior ally to strategic partner, they said. It's no longer the patron-client dynamic, where Russia holds all the leverage, said Hannah Knott, director of the Eurasian Non-Proliferation Program at the James Martin Center for Non-Proliferation Studies. The Iranians are accruing benefits from this change. The nature of their relationship has gone beyond just getting things. There's knowledge transfer, there's intangible gains. Intelligence officials described Russia as advancing agreements negotiated in secret to supply Iran with Su-35s, one of Russia's most capable fighter bombers, and a potentially dramatic upgrade for an Iranian air force that consists mainly of rebuilt U.S. and Soviet aircraft dating from before 1979. Russia also pledged to provide technical help with Iranian spy satellites, as well as assistance in building rockets to put more satellites into space, the officials said. There is no public evidence that Su-35s have been delivered. The holdup may be a delay by Iran in paying for the planes, according to a U.S. and a Middle Eastern intelligence official with detailed knowledge of the deal. A Russian Su-35 fighter jet taxis after landing on an airfield in Belarus to attend a joint military drills just weeks before the invasion of Ukraine in January 27, 2022. On the defensive side of the ledger, Iran has long sought Russia's top-of-the-line anti-aircraft missile batteries to protect its nuclear and military facilities against a possible U.S. or Israeli strike. In 2007, Tehran negotiated a contract to purchase Russia's S-300 anti-aircraft system, but Moscow delayed sending the weapons amid pressure from the United States and European powers. The self-imposed ban ended in 2016, and Iranian S-300s became operational in 2019. Iran has since sought to purchase Russia's more capable S-400 system, although whether Moscow has moved to provide S-400 batteries is not publicly known. Some variants of the S-400 are equipped with radars that can defeat stealth technology used by modern warplanes. Russia has deployed the S-400 to safeguard its military outposts in Syria, and the batteries constitute a potentially fatal danger to U.S. and Israeli military aircraft that occasionally operate in Syrian airspace. An Israeli airstrike on Iran's consulate in Damascus on April 1 killed 2 Iranian generals and led directly to Iran's decision to launch drones and missiles against Israel over the weekend. Lieutenant Gen Herzi Halevi, the Israel Defense Forces Chief of Staff, said Monday that Iran's attack will be met with a response. If supply of the new Russian anti-aircraft missiles and anti-stealth systems deployed to cover subterranean bunkers carved in rugged mountains, which surely make Iranian airspace a more dangerous place, said Ken Kasapoglu, a senior fellow at the Hudson Institute, a Washington think tank. This is important at a time when the regime is fast and unchecked moving toward a bomb, Kasapoglu said. Any engagement with Israel will take place in the Iranian airspace, where Tehran will hold the advantage of playing at home, he added. Moscow also is reaping benefits from the collaboration, intelligence officials said. In addition to thousands of drones procured from Iran, Russia agreed late last year to purchase about $2 billion worth of additional military goods, including anti-drone defensive systems that have become a top priority for Russian generals in Ukraine, according to 2 intelligence officials with detailed knowledge of the deal. Iran has separately agreed to sell Russia's surface-to-surface missiles for use in Ukraine, and according to a new intelligence assessment, is expected to begin transfer of the weapons imminently. Spy agencies have seen no evidence so far that the missiles have been delivered, the officials said. The development of battlefield drones, however, has turned into a cooperative business between the 2 countries, intelligence officials said. At first, Tehran sought to assist its ally in closing a gap in its military campaign against Ukraine by giving Russia drones. Russia, which possessed few battlefield drones at the start of the war, began using 2 types of Iranian-made Shade drones in the fall of 2022. The long-range, swept-wing Shade 131 and the Shade 136. By midsummer 2023, Russia was beginning to manufacture Iranian-designed Shade 136 drones indigenously at factory in Alabuga, a town in Russia's Tatarstan region, about 500 miles east of Moscow. Russian documents obtained by the Washington Post last year described plans to manufacture 6,000 drones by summer 2025 to use in its campaign of strikes against Ukrainian forces, as well as electricity plants and other vital infrastructure. Concerned about Russia's domestic production, the Ukrainian military launched a drone attack of its own against the Alabuga complex on April 2. More recently, Moscow and Tehran have begun working cooperatively on new kinds of unmanned aerial vehicles, or UAVs, according to intelligence officials and leaked documents. The hacker collective Prana network allegedly stole the massive collection of Russian and Iranian emails and documents from an Iranian server connected to Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps earlier this year. Among the documents were details of visits by Iranian and Russian delegations to tour weapons facilities in both countries. The Iranians' trip to the NPP START factory was described in a Russian program for the visit that listed tours of defense facilities in 5 cities. The document was signed by officials of Technodynamica JSC, which operates NPP START, as well as the Russian Defense Ministry. The Post could not independently verify the documents, but 2 Biden administration officials acknowledged that U.S. intelligence agencies have closely studied the leaked materials and do not dispute their authenticity. Neither Russia nor Iran has publicly responded to the leak. Several documents indicate an April 2023 trip to Iran by a party of Russian engineers to observe a demonstration of a new jet-powered drone, as well as a series of hunter-killer UAVs designed to destroy opposing drones. Both appeared to impress the visitors. Variants of the jet-powered drone, codenamed the MS-237, Shade 238, and Shade 236, were described as having a maximum speed of roughly 400 miles per hour, about 3 times quicker than prior incarnations of Iranian drones. Tehran revealed the existence of the new drone at an air show in November. In the demonstration, the jet drone, codenamed Motorboat in the Russians' internal communications, successfully took off, accomplished the tasks, and successfully landed by parachute, a leaked Russian report said. Given its high speed, the boat is essentially a cruise missile. The test evidently helped solidify an agreement to acquire more than 600 of the Iranian-designed jet drones, with most of them produced on Russian soil with Iranian parts and help, according to the disclosed emails. The documents also describe protracted negotiations over how Russia would pay for the drones. At least 2 installments were to come in the form of gold bullion valued at around $140 million, the documents show. In January, photos of the remains of a jet-powered drone that appears identical to the MS-237 were posted by Ukraine bloggers after the aircraft reportedly was shot down somewhere over central Ukraine. It is not yet known whether any of the jet drones were launched against Israel in the recent Iranian attack. It's faster, which means it is more difficult to intercept, said Fabian Hinz, a defense analyst and expert on UAVs and missile systems at the International Institute for Strategic Studies, a London-based think tank. But, he said, the jet drones are probably also substantially more expensive because these types of jet engines are tricky to build. Producing the drones as a cooperative production offers major benefits for Iran, including the possibility to evaluate their performance on Ukrainian battlefields. David Albright, an expert on Iran's weapon systems and president of the Institute for Science and International Security, a Washington nonprofit, noted that the leaked documents show evidence of Russian engineers incorporating design improvements on Iranian drones. Mistakes and flaws in the designs were identified and fixed, he continued, and Iran would benefit from that. Albright stated that the transfer of technological know-how and design data might subtly increase Iran's capabilities without raising any red flags in the West, even in the event that Russian systems like the S-400 have not been supplied to and installed in Iran already. You might not see anything, he continued. If you found this breakdown of the escalating situation between Russia, Iran, and Israel compelling, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Stay tuned for more in-depth analyses and updates on global security and geopolitical shifts. Subscribe now to keep informed and stay ahead of the curve.